As the rain lashed down and thunder rumbled across the sky, a brief flash of lightning illuminated a bedraggled group of travellers. Their slow climb up the rocky slopes to the foreboding tower at the summit seemed to last an eternity. At last, the figures escaped the storm and entered a dark hallway. As they peered into the shadows, they saw a sinister figure on a rocky throne. A solitary traveller stepped forward from the huddled and dripping group and addressed the presence on the throne. "My lord Zargon, we come bearing grieved tidings. We must report the failure to your plan to raise the ogre horde against the realm. Once again, we were routed by his accursed champions, and once again, we were forced to flee." The figure on the throne shifted, and a voice, like death, broke the silence. "I am aware of your failure, Thestral, but, as in all things, I have learned from my failures. Firstly, I have learned not to underestimate the realm's heroes. Secondly, I have learned not to rely on fools. I have therefore conceived a new scheme to destroy the king's heroes forever. I have chosen 4 lieutenants to carry out my plan. Come forth, my lieutenants." With that command, 4 silhouettes stepped from the shadows. "Let me present Zanrath, High Mage of Sarako," an ancient bearded man, wearing a pointed hat and carrying a staff topped with a crescent moon, bowed down towards Thestral and his retinue. "Fanrax the Malicious." At the mention of his name, an evil-looking man, adorned with skull symbols and toying with a wickedly sharp dagger, gave a sneering smile to the group. "Baruch, the Storm Master." With a sweep of his oaken staff, a ragged and bearded figure greeted the refugees. "And finally, Grawshak, Orc Shaman of the Northern Tribes." The last of the 4 lieutenants, an orc decorated in skins, feathers, and skulls, carrying a massive totem wand, growled what might have been a greeting or a curse at the party. "I believe that these 4 sorcerers will succeed where you have so miserably failed, and it is they who will punish you for your failure." With this final word, Zargon disappeared into the shadows. From here, he watched with great satisfaction as his 4 sorcerous lieutenants erased all trace of Thestral and his followers. Zargon smiled. These were indeed the ones who would finally destroy the realm's heroes forever. So, with the next expansion being more than likely Wizards of Morcar or Wizards of Zargon, here's a few things I'd like to see in the expansion. First of all, I'd like to see a number of quests added to bring the amount of quests up to 10 like a regular expansion. I'd love to see some alternative mercenaries added to the box, even if it's just gender swapped miniatures, so the swordsman and the crossbowman being changed to female and the scouts and the halberdiers being male. I think it would be great if we got a female wizard for this expansion, and possibly some new spells for the wizard. Even if it's just the same 4 elemental spells, just with add-ons. The monsters in the pack I would like to see is some undead variants, maybe some undead goblins and undead orcs. As there has been mention of undead goblins, I know for sure. Some focus on the chaos warriors or dread warriors, possibly with alternative weapons. Crossbows would look cool. More ranged enemies would be a great addition. And definitely no cardboard standees. Just not into them. I would prefer miniatures. I know some people find painting them a bit daunting, but I love it. Even if you don't paint them, it's optional. But for me personally, I'd like more plastic to add to my pile of shame. But in all honesty, yeah, more miniatures would be great. Just alternative miniatures would be great. Alternative monsters. Even some new monsters would be great. Like races that we haven't seen in HeroQuest thus far. Or maybe some returning monsters from the classic. I understand that the Famir are a touchy subject with regards to their lore, and also the fact that they're owned by Games Workshop. But we can get around that by delving into the mythology of where they're rooted in. So they are obviously from the Fomorians, from Irish mythology. So I believe that that shouldn't be a problem. Or we could have some other form of cyclopean creature. I would like some more board dressing as well. Even just some more doors would go down well. And some double doors would be great to get around the problem of people door camping. As for use of cardboard, I think some more overlays would be great. And some alternative traps, maybe like pit traps with spikes or some other things, more sinking sand and things like that. But yeah, more overlays would be great to just switch the board up slightly, and it helps with the whole immersion and giving a different aesthetic. And if we are going to get some more dice, I would really like to see a dice for combat that doesn't favour the heroes, that is set for Zargon, to make it harder for the players who have leveled up to the max, and just make it more of a challenge. I've seen the homebrew dice. I think they were made by some of the German players, if I remember correctly. But that concept is great, because I do find that with the current dice we have, can make the heroes way overpowered, especially when they're fully leveled up. So yeah, some Zargon dice would be great. So those pesky do-gooders can't kill all my monsters so easily. But yeah, that's just a few of the things I'd like to see in the newest iteration of Wizards of Zargon, or Wizards of Morcar, whichever they're going to title it. Let me know some of your ideas and things you'd ideally like to see in the expansion. And let's start a discussion on Wizards of Zargon.